What's up guys, how's it going? My name is Lost and welcome back to another Kingdom Hearts Union Cross video. Now this is part 2 of the big update that we got this morning. So if you missed part 1, the link will be down in the description below for you guys. Make sure to check that out because there is a lot of new content and even something exclusive that we have never seen that was introduced into the game for the first time ever. Farmable jewels. So definitely make sure to check out that update video. But in this update video, I guess this is part 2 of the update video, we're going to be talking about the new Kingdom Hearts 3 medals, the 18 flippin' medals that we got this morning. Man, when I saw that tweet, I was like, what in the hell? Like, what? 18 medals in one banner? That's ridiculous. But we're going to go into details on the banners. We're going to talk about the medals themselves, if they are worth the chase or not. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. And as always, again, shout out to Roboloid and to Ryuji for allowing me to use their translations in my update videos. You can always find them on Discord, or you can find Roboloid on Twitter at Roboloid. So let's go ahead and talk about the banner itself, guys, and see whether or not it's worth the chase. And that is the wrong one. Apparently, I don't know what I'm doing. All right, there we go. No, that's not it either. RIP. Great start to a video, guys. Great start to a video. All right, let's go. Here we go. All right, we're set. So, a massive banner is here. 18 new medals from Kingdom Hearts 3 make their way into Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. Now, the normal banner features your first pull is 100% free. That is beautiful. It is a falling price deal. That just makes this banner even more worth it, in my opinion. A falling price deal and your first pull is free? I don't ever think they've ever combined both of those two together into one banner. Really, and to be like 100% honest with you guys, before the actual content was released, it was like a few minutes before, I was thinking to myself, man, a free pull is awesome. But imagine if they did a falling price deal and all of a sudden it's just like, oh my god, it's a falling price deal. That is amazing. So GG Square Enix, seriously, that is a great deal that you did right there. So you do also get 1 7-star of any of the new Kingdom Hearts 3 medals per pull, and then you do get the 10 limited time VIP coins per pull, and those limited coins are for trait medals in case you get any of the tier 9 medals that you see right now on the screen. The premium banner features your first pull is free, the falling price deal is the same. You do get 2 7-star new Kingdom Hearts 3 medals per pull. You do also get the 10 limited time VIP coins per pull. The rates are increased for Superburst medals. You can use the limited time VIP coins on trait medals, the trait medal avatar boards for Sora, Riku, and young Master Xehanort. Because there are so many medals, Roboloid has condensed the descriptions for medals with similar abilities. So, again, when it comes to like the features of the banner, I do like the fact that there is a no mercy pull on the VIP banner. The only difference between the premium banner and the regular banner is just the rates. That's the big difference between them both, but I like the fact that they kept it almost the same. They could have done a mercy pull on the actual premium banner, but the thing about that though is that you would be taking a chance as to which one out of the 3 that you would be getting. So I can understand them being like, you know what, I feel like that's kind of stupid, so we're just gonna keep it both falling price, both 1 free pull, and then of course the only difference is the rates are a bit higher than the normal banner. So I can't complain too much about that. I do like that difference that they did right there, in my opinion. That's just my opinion. So let's go ahead and jump into it, guys. Let's talk about the medals themselves, because you can see right here we have a lot. So they did put them in, I guess, their own little square or circle, whatever. You're gonna see that the first 3 medals that we're gonna talk about, which are the Superburst medals, are tier 9 medals. So per Roboloid, since he decided to condense them, because again, these guys, they spent over an hour translating everything for us, he specifically put the translations for Superbus Kingdom Hearts 3 Sora. Now, it is a tier 9 medal, upright speed, and then of course Riku being upright power, your Master Xehanort being reverse magic. 2 gauges, the multipliers for all 3 of these medals are 30.55 to 39.93 at, of course, the 7-star, because I ain't no 6-star versions for these. They are in AoE medals, so for 2 turns, buffs upright, general, speed, attack, and of course Riku power, Master Xehanort magic, by 15 tiers. That is not bad at all, and for 2 turns, hell yeah, that is a very good buffing ability right there. Debuffs the enemy's general defense by 15 tiers. Hell yeah. Raises the guilt of all medals by 160%. I believe that is the highest that we have so far when it comes to medals that increase other medals guild. So that is a plus right there as well. Recovers 5 gauges. Hell yeah. Does not increment the enemy's counters. Hell yeah. And then damage scales higher with a lower slot number. So you can treat this medal as not only a damage dealer, but of course you would have to put it very, very close to slot 1, or you can even treat this medal as a buffer. That is a very good way to put a medal together into just one specific thing, into one specific medal. You can treat this medal as a buffer, you can treat this medal as a damage dealer. I know that the multiplier for these 3 medals are not the highest, but when you think about it, guys, they kind of balance each other out between the multiplier and the amount that these 3 medals do. I feel like it's a pretty good balance. I feel like with that and it being an AoE medal, these medals, if you're gonna ask me as to whether or not to chase for them, I feel like yes, these medals, if you want to give yourself some more power into your setups, I would say go for it, especially because 1, free pull, 2, falling price deal. So I mean, it's going to be 1900 jewels once you get to the 4th or 5th pull, whichever one it is. I think it's if I remember my pulls from earlier today, I believe it is your 4th pull, unless you want to count the free pull, then it's your 5th pull. But to go for these medals, guys, now of course I'm not gonna tell you guys be like, hey, just go until you freaking get them. But if per se you already have Superburst Kairi, you already have Superburst Xion, and you are perfectly fine with, say, like the trio medals, if you did pull on those medals, and I would say you could probably skip on these 3 specifically. But if you want to add a new addition to your Keyblade setups, to future events, etc., etc., these medals are actually worth it in my opinion. You can easily set up these medals in, say, PvP Keyblades, especially if it's like, say, Lady Luck week, because apparently that's how it is. Like once every month it seems like we get 1 week of Lady Luck. You can easily put the Superbus KH3 Sora as your buffer, and at the same time it's also going to be doing damage as well. Same with Riku, same with young Master Xehanort. If it's say Magic Week, which it is right now, your Master Xehanort would actually be perfect for a lot of our Keyblade setups, which of course would be Diamond Dust, maybe even Counterpoint if you want to put it on there, 3 wishes. You could do so much with these medals, or these 3 specific medals. And so I mean, if you get it, you get it. That's great. But let's go ahead and talk about some of these some of the other medals as well that we got with today's update, because I feel like even if you don't get some of these medals, I feel like the tier 8 medals could still be viable in your Keyblade setups to do some pretty good damage, in my opinion. Also, one thing that I do want to note as well that I forgot to mention is that the Superburst ability for the tier 9 medals, the multiplier is at 80. The ability is it is an AoE medal, and for 1 turn raises the guilt of all medals by 200%. Does not increment the enemy's counters. In PvP, this ability activates on slot 3. So when it comes to that, you can easily use these medals in case somebody is using the triple threat method, which of course they attack you with triple threat, poison, sleep. It doesn't matter what it is, some kind of status ailment on you, and then on the 2nd turn they do the same thing again. You can easily have any of these 3 medals on your 3rd slot of your Keyblade, and then bam, your buffs and everything are pretty much set, which is awesome. Unless of course they debuff you with, say, Demix Kai or Demix Plus, and you pretty much have to rely on maybe having extra attack on one of these medals. So that's another option right there for you to be able to use one of these 3 medals right here. Aside from that though, when enhanced by the dual Meow Wow, the multiplier is at 100 or goes up to 120, and the guilt is raised by 250%. That is insane. That is the highest guilt right now that we have in the game, at least when it comes to Superburst. After that though, of course, Superburst Kingdom Hearts 3 Riku is the upright power version of Sora, which I mentioned earlier, and then of course the same thing for young Master Xehanort, but of course he is reverse magic. Now, let's talk about the Tier 8 medals real quick. Tier 8 medals that we have, you see right here, Kingdom Hearts 3, Goofy, Donald, Buzz, Woody. I forgot his name. Maleficent, and then of course Pete, another Pete medal. Good God, I didn't think we'd see another Pete medal, but of course we're gonna have to see him again. Anyways, though, Kingdom Hearts 3 Goofy, and again, Roboloid condensed all of these because they all have similar abilities, just of course whatever attribute it is that they have. Goofy is a Tier 8 medal, upright power, gauges 3, multiplier at a 7-star is 29.45 to 34.74. It is an AoE medal, and for 2 turns, debuffs the enemy's upright general defense by 8 tiers, debuffs the enemy's power defense by 15 tiers, and then of course to each of their respective medals: Donald Magic, Woody Power, Woody Speed, Buzz Power, Pete's Power, and Maleficent Magic. They debuff the enemy's power defense by 15 tiers, and then of course respective attribute. Increments the enemy's counters by +3, damage scales higher with the more abilities used in succession. So of course, with these Tier 8 medals, the best place to put them would be on your pet slot, because the more abilities that you are using, the higher the damage you're going to get when it comes to these 6 Tier 8 medals. So again guys, if you don't get any of these Tier 9 medals, if you do manage to get extra attack on any of these Tier 8 medals, you can easily almost have the exact same thing as the Tier 9 medals, because of the fact that you have that extra attack trait, or if you want to use a copy medal on them, that works as well. But by the time that you do get to these medals, since the higher the damage requirements are that you have to keep using ability after ability after ability from all the medals beforehand, you'll still get that high damage multiplier. So it kind of works both ways when you really think about it. But still, either ways, you're gonna have all your buffs and everything even before you get to these medals, which is what I was trying to say, but I completely spaced out. So not too bad. The Superbus abilities though, when you do activate them with the dual Meow Wows, the multiplier is at 80. It is an AoE attack, and for 1 turn raises the guild of all medals by 200%. Oh no, excuse me, I am reading the wrong thing. I apologize. Anyway, the multiplier when you do use these dual Meow Wows is 100. It is an AoE ability, resets the enemy's counters. In PvP, this ability activates on slot 6. And then of course, Kingdom Hearts 3, Donald, Buzz, Woody, Maleficent, and of course Pete. They all pretty much do the same thing to what I just read in Goofy. Once again, I just want to make sure that you guys understand that part. So one thing though is that with Buzz is a little bit different than some of the other ones. So I actually take that back. I take back what I just said, so because I didn't pre-read this before I did my update video. So what I just read was specifically for Goofy and Donald, but that doesn't change anything when it comes to what I mentioned with like strategies and whatnot on like how to set up your Keyblades and stuff like that. So Kingdom Hearts 3 Buzz, and this applies to Kingdom Hearts 3 Woody, Kingdom Hearts 3 Pete, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Maleficent. Tier 8 medals, upright power, 5 gauges. The multipliers on these 4 medals right here, 4 Tier 8 medals, 44.35 to 47.03 at a 7-star multiplier. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. It is a single target, and for 1 turn buffs upright power attack by 15 tiers, and then of course to each their own respective attributes. Debuffs the enemy's power upright by 15 tiers. Damage scales higher with more gauges remaining. So It does 11 hits, and then of course with the super ability, which you need the dual Meow Wows for, the multiplier is at 150. Single target Superburst attack recovers 30 gauges. In PvP, this ability activates on slot 4. So, my thoughts on these tier 8 medals that we have here. Not bad. The big thing that catches my eye is the multiplier itself for being a single target. This can be used in, of course, PvP. It can be used on raid bosses, of course, depending on what kind of traits it is that you get on these 4 medals. The only thing with this, though, I can't really say anything too negative about these medals because of that high multiplier. These 4 medals right here are more damage dealers in my opinion, so they would work out a whole lot more in PvP and Coliseum, because most of the time we do have our medals with SBK 0, 1, or 2 skills. So they will work best on that. When it comes to raid bosses, though, I don't think they're gonna be too hot of a medal to use, because they rely on the amount of gauges you have remaining. So if you can somehow work that out in your raiding Keyblade setups, then I mean, props to you, of course. But these medals are more specifically for other content outside from like raid bosses and whatnot. But overall, though, the multipliers on them for the 7-star multipliers are pretty good in my opinion, so can't complain too much about them. They are still good medals when it comes to being damage dealers, though, so ignore, like, say, the buffs and whatnot, unless you run into that situation where you do get debuffed in PvP. But I think they are pretty good medals in my opinion, of course. So let's go ahead and jump into the final set of medals, which are the tier 7 medals, guys. Now, these specific medals, let me make sure that I am reading them correctly. So, Kingdom Hearts 3 Hercules, Kingdom Hearts 3 Phil, and Kingdom Hearts 3 Megara, they all have the same ability. So, we're going to talk about those specifically now. They are tier 7 medals, upright power, gauges are 2. Multiplier is 28.59. They are single targets, and for 1 turn, buffs general defense by 5 tiers and buffs speed defense by 8 tiers. And then, of course, when it comes to Hercules, it would be power, Phil, speed, and then Megara would be magic. So these are more support type medals. Really, I don't know. They could be used for some situational purposes, but since this game is really more catered towards the fact that more damage will equal you being able to complete events and other stuff like that, you know, if you get them, cool, but I mean, if you don't, I mean, that's also good as well, because of course everybody is just more focused on dealing damage or whatnot. So these support medals, they can be used one day for, say, maybe like high score challenges, maybe some events where you got to survive attacks, you know, just like little things here and there, but they are situational medals. Now, when it comes to the trio, the Twilight Trio, for Kingdom Hearts 3 Xehanort, Pence, and Olette, they are tier 7 medals, of course. Upright power, 0 gauges, multiplier 28.59. They are random targets, and for 1 turn, they buff general power attack by 8 tiers and recovers 5 gauges. And then, of course, for Xehanort, it would be speed. Olette would be magic. They do 1 hit. And then for the Superbus ability on them, they do require the dual Meow Wows. The multiplier is at 50. It is an AoE attack, and for 1 turn overwrites your own power attack to plus 15. In PvP, this ability activates on slot 1. I did miss the Superburst ability for Hercules, Phil, and Megara. It is 50. Yeah, the multiplier is 50. It is an AoE, and for 1 turn, and this is for, again, Hercules, Phil, and Megara, overwrites your own speed defense to plus 15. In PvP, this ability activates in slot 1, which is a little odd, but okay. But when it comes to the Twilight Trio, though, buffs general attack. If you can get extra attack on that, that's not too bad of again, another support medal. So, I mean, that's really about the only use that I see it so far. But it is a random target, so of course, it can help you out in, say, Proud Quest, whenever you are only allowed to use random medals in those required missions. So that's one use you can use them. And of course, again, situational purposes, really. I mean, we're really more focused on just being... We're more focused on medals that do like a lot of damage, because that's pretty much what everybody is into, which I'm assuming. So, and then the final thing, guys, good God, there is, again, it was a big update today. The final thing, out of the last out of the last 3 medals of the tier 7 medals that we got, was the Kingdom Hearts 3 Shadow, the Kingdom Hearts 3 Soldier, and the Kingdom Hearts 3 Marine Roomba. So these last 3 Heartless medals, tier 7 reverse power, and then of course the Soldier being reverse speed, and then the Roomba being reverse magic. 0 gauges, multiplier 28.59. They are random targets. For 1 turn, debuffs all enemies' defense by 1 tier. Is that a typo? That might not be a typo, I don't know. But yeah, so debuffs the enemy's defense by 1 tier, debuffs all, I guess it's not, debuffs all enemies' power defense by 3 tiers and recovers 3 gauges, and then of course the attributes to their respective medals. The Superbus ability, though, of course requires a dual Meow to unlock. Multiplier is at 50. It is an AoE ability, or AoE Superburst, and for 1 turn overwrites the enemy's power defense to -12. In PvP, this ability activates on slot 1. These last 3 Heartless medals don't really catch my attention, to be honest with you, because defense by 1 tier, power defense by 3 tiers, and then a Superburst ability overwrites it to -12. I don't know. I think that these medals right here, out of like the 18 medals that we have gotten in the banner today, these are probably like the worst ones. But I mean, if I'm wrong, or if you have something to counter my feelings towards them, let me know in the comment section below. But they're probably the worst ones out of the 18 that we have gotten today. So there's really not much to talk about them. But other than that, though, I mean, they could be used for situational purposes. I do not know. But it's not really something to be like, ooh, like these medals are like the best ever, you know, or whatnot. So yeah, they're kind of like, in my opinion. But anyways, though, guys, that's gonna be it for the video. What do you guys think about these new medals? I mean, in my opinion, you know, I guess my final opinions on these medals would have to be that, of course, the tier 9 Superburst medals are like the best ones out of this 18 medal banner that we just got. Aside from that, though, the tier 8 medals are definitely worth it as well. And then of course the tier 7 medals, well, they are more towards being support type medals, except for the Heartless medals. They're kind of crap in my opinion. But let me know in the comment section below, guys, whether or not you pulled on these medals. What did you get? And let me know your thoughts on all of these medals. Which ones do you think you are wanting to go for? Which is the ones that you're going to be chasing? And other than that, though, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button and subscribe for some more future content. And I will see you guys next time.